we were more interested in just securing the Tristana because we think that's one of the best picks in bot lane right now.
Yeah, makes sense. And how are you going to win this game? What do you think how do you play it out?
Um, I think we have a little bit more balanced team comp this time around. Last time it was more like scale, sit back and scale sort of energy, but
Hmm.
I think this game we're gonna have a lot more um, strength in the early and mid game, um, and less late game scaling. So um, yeah, we're hoping that we can take down towers, get plates with Tristana, um, get early dragons, and snowball a decent little lead.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, thanks, Amateur Noob, for coaching the team and giving us some info. We'll wish you luck for your team and see you on the other side.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Best of luck. Good job with that running that interview. We got some interesting insight into the mindset of how the different teams are playing now that we've had both coaches on.
We
I
didn't get a confident "we're better" from Amateur Noob, but I think we're seeing the confidence in their picks, the comfort in their picks, and their confidence in their ability to outperform in these team fights. Um, Amateur Noob talked about their snowball potential with Tristana, but I also think their team fighting is really good. He was right; they're absolutely a balanced composition and can win through several angles, including that snowball, and also just outperforming in these team fights.
yeah. The definitely looking towards definitely looking towards how these team fights are executed because that is both comps have basically drafted towards those points in the game. So I'm expecting them to be a lot more of a decisive point of the game than they were in the at least last draft. It ended up being a pretty team fight heavy game, honestly. But let's see. Yeah, it looks like we are heading into the pick bans. So we're about 3 minutes out from the game starting. I'm gonna toss the stream over to you, Holmes, now that the draft is over.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start it once it's loaded in. Otherwise, it'll do the weird league thing where it thinks it's in and then it's not. But
Oh, true.
yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about the draft, and we've talked a lot about the overall level of comfort of the players, but we haven't really talked about the individual players too much. So I'm just going to walk through each of the players individually, give them a little bit of a spotlight. So Lyvern, uh, on the top side for Team Zon, uh, generally a Lilia one trick, so has had to flex some muscles on other picks this game, but honestly was pretty impressive with the KO last game, and I think excited to see his ability to hit R on Shen, but also Shen is not a quiet laner and can definitely manage an impact.
Yeah,
Uh,
Shen is he's definitely a very kind of a sleeper power pick, but he has some very strong early games that I think a lot of people don't respect, and so that's something to keep
Absolutely.
an eye out for.
Yeah, absolutely. Benyan Cannon, I'm sorry, Benyan Canadian or Banjan Canadian in Maokai in the jungle for Teams on. We saw him on Maokai last game. Got picked a lot. We're gonna hope to see fewer mispositions from him this game in order to help stabilize that early game that I think Teams on is going to need to catapult. Um, Be the Dub. We've talked about Be the Dub a little bit. I think is the primary carry for Teams on. Not that they can't carry through Lyvern or Avid Zulu, but is probably the most comfortable on the picks that he has and is the highest elo. So if we're just going based on paper, that's what I'm going on. He's on his comfort chab, so I'm expecting to see something good from him this game. Avid Zulu in that bot lane on Tristana. Again, comfort pick. Tristana is one of his most played. Has been win streaking 70% over the last 20 this season. And that season just started this week. So looking hot, hoping to continue that performance. And of course, Walter Warren on the other side. Uh, as I was doing my research, he didn't have a particular champ that he was akin to, but had a mix of several champs with decent depth and honestly really good KDAs. And yeah, I think last game the Morgana Qs left a little something to be desired, but excited to see the Leona from him here. On the other side, on Team Demacia, Harbinger 115, Alawi's one of his top 3. Think a good pick overall with the team. Also one of the higher ranked players in this tournament for the low elo set. So kind of excited to see him break that out. Memine 11, I think is a really interesting player for this tournament. I didn't see any junglers in his repertoire. So he's really been adapting. And honestly, that Sejuani play last game, we didn't talk about much, but he did exactly what he needed to in these games. Developer
Yeah,
games. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Jan.
No, we saw some really good Sejuani. He plays very decisive ults in some of those early skirmishes that really got his team ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Developer games. The Syndra this game. Akali is his main. I was really hoping we could get an Akali game in. I'm a big Akali fan myself, but it was banned both games so far. So fall into some of his backup options. I didn't see his Syndra stats, so I'm kind of curious to see how he performs here. And then Vexed FPS we've talked about a good bit on Draven, and then of course Chase 2020J. I think we mentioned this last game, but Chase 2020J is the only player here, as well as Lyvern, who has reached gold. So Lyvern and Chase have reached gold, but Lyvern has only done it on Lilia. Chase 2020 a few years ago was able to hit gold on a variety of champions. So we'll see if he can shake off some rust after maybe not playing as much recently to reach that same higher elo bar.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see if he's able to break out some of those skills and really make the game go how his team wants it to. Because there's, like you said, Team Demacia has a very powerful comp, but has a slightly higher bar of execution on it. So everything's gonna end up. Everything is gonna count.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna see if they can really pull ahead in the early game. And they did manage it last time, so we'll see if they can do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be monitoring. I have Discord up on the side, y'all. So if you have any stream problems again this time, please let me know in Discord. I'll have that chat open. Just ping me in the chat. So I'm also I have recording running again this time, so I'm hoping that works better. But yeah, like I said, let me know if anything is odd. Here we go. All right, no pings in the map yet, so we're not quite sure, but it looks like they're heading out to their 5 points. Nobody is looking for an invade.
Welcome to
Tristana's still in base.
It's a little bit unfortunate, but it doesn't look like they'll get punished particularly hard for that. I think
30 seconds.
Maokai has been spotted. Let me see if I can...
Yeah, that is true. Maokai has been spotted, and he doesn't seem to care. And we got the classic Alistair cowbell.
Amumu is, I believe, still untracked, so that's a slight advantage already for Team Demacia, who did get the first win in the series. So we're gonna see if they're able to capitalize on Amumu being out of vision. I don't know if he's decided what side he's starting yet. Looks like he's headed towards bot side, so we might be seeing some more top lane focus from his early ganks this game. So we'll see if they're able to do anything with that. Yeah, both sides are leashing this time. My hunch is they're gonna do the Draven thing where you can come to lane with both axes if you time it right. Although they might have not been able to do that because I found one of the axes timeout. Yeah, so he's just gonna walk to lane without both axes. So that's a little bit of an advantage that has not been secured, but yeah, both sides are going to be coming to lane at around the same time this time, so you're not going to see that sort of massive level advantage that Team Demacia was able to get last game in their bot lane.
Yeah. So far, looks like nothing interesting level 1 particularly. Let's keep an eye on this bot lane and see who gets level 2 here first, because we know last game that level 2 made a big difference when Morgana head to back. I'm curious to see if the Draven and Alistair are able to get that same advantage. They do hit level 2 first.
And they are again just diving onto the Tristana, getting a chunk, but not really getting anything else out of that. So Tristana and Leona managed to survive that a little bit better than they did last time. So that's definitely something.
Nice adaptation from them to be aware of that level 2 after it really hurt them last game. They'll be able to manage all these minions, and now are level 2 as well. So looks like it'll be a little bit calmer there in the bot lane.
Shen seems to be struggling in this early lane. There's a big wave coming in. He's already getting poked down. Same thing is happening in mid. So I'm going to be looking to see if either of these solo laners for Team Zon can survive this early pressure they're taking.
Yeah, big trades in the top wave. Shen now down to just about 100, 200 health. It's going to be a little rough for him for a little bit longer as that wave pushes in. He's down almost a wave already. Has the wave to catch, but it's going to be hard to step up to Alawi with that health state. Meanwhile, yeah, Syndra pushing in pretty heavily in the mid, and that's expected, I would say early. Syndra, although weaker early than she used to be, still is a force. But it looks like actually missing a lot of these minions in the process. Only at 10 at the third wave. Or fourth wave. Second wave? I'm not quite sure. Second wave, yeah. Because the cannon's not here yet. Ooh, jungle fight. Uh-oh.
Very early
Maokai,
wet
get
noodle
out.
fight. Maokai is just going to go down. First blood to the Amumu. Now, I honestly think that's not as bad as it was last game. Amumu doesn't do as much with gold as Victor can do, so that's definitely one silver lining there. But yeah, losing your jungler so early is going to be rough, because now you don't have any of that pressure on the map. And they know where he is now, so he's going to have to go back top for that one camp, and it's really going to screw with his tempo.
Yeah, and we really wanted... I think Maokai really needs Flash to do much in the early game until he has his ultimate. So not having that Flash available is much more painful for the Maokai than I believe the Amumu is obviously able to queue in.
Yeah, Victor missing a cannon minion in mid lane, so that's a little bit of gold down too. Syndra is really pushing him hard in this early game.
Yeah, looks like Victor TP's back and probably catches this most of this wave. So we'll actually, assuming he's able to catch all this wave, be advantaged on minions by a small amount. So we'll see if Syndra is able to purchase something a little more. No, it looks like she'll be coming about back to lane, but she does have the biscuits and health potion advantage, and will not TP either. So probably a smart play from her in order to catch all those minions, and then be advantaged with that TP. Let's see if she can do anything with it later in the game. Some interesting Keystone runes. The Aerie on Syndra. I'm not sure Electrocute is necessarily better or worse, but Syndra doesn't really provide a shield, so I'm kind of surprised about that. You know, the self. Maybe there's something I don't know about that. But
I mean, you can poke with it. I guess it's a little bit more reliable early damage than Electrocute.
I
think
you can shield yourself, you don't get like the shield benefit of the Aerie, which is somewhat surprising. But yeah, maybe that's just something I don't know. They're looking for something in mid here.
Yeah, there's two people kind of hovering. I don't know if they have vision on it. Looks like they don't. This could just be a dead Victor if they can lock him down. Yeah, he's gonna just barely walk out. I don't.
Shen ult. I think that Shen ult saved him. It would have been close, but
I'm not sure if they had enough follow-up damage to kill him once he was under tower, but
yeah,
definitely Shen ulting making sure he's kept alive. Gonna benefit the Victor, but Shen is giving up a decent amount of minions here and a tower plate, so that's gonna set him a little bit behind mid lane or in top lane.
Yeah, and of course the Victor losing a decent bit of farm, but Syndra chose to back before crashing that wave. Meanwhile, though, top lane no mana on Alawi, but she does have flash, so should be safe.
Yeah, she doesn't even need to flash. She's able to just walk it off. Maokai, not a huge threat very early in the game, but this is kind of an awkward wave state for Alawi, so she's probably going to have to, or at least want a TP to catch this, because otherwise she's going to end up missing about 2 waves. Oh, she's just going to stay.
Oh, yeah, that's somewhat surprising. I guess just getting that 1 minion in backing, but Amumu is in that top area. I'm curious to see when she TP's back if with that ult they try to do something, but I'm also looking at this bot lane. Draven has not been able to get anything done in that early game, and we talked about that being a win condition for the team Demacia. If they can't capitalize on this before Draven dies and loses those stacks, it's going to be really rough. But they have a little time yet. This early in mid game is still when Team Demacia want to
Yeah,
get
I mean
things
the
done.
other side of that Draven though is he's been stacking. So even if he hasn't gotten a kill yet, if they're not able to kill him before he can do that, that is about 400 extra gold he's going to be looking to pick up. So there is also a timer on shutting this Draven down before he's able to get anything done with it.
Yeah, I would like to see some more trading from that Draven, especially with the Sheen that he's purchased. It looks like they've mostly just been content to farm it out versus trading any damage. But yeah, I mean, if they're confident that they're going to be able to get a kill, I mean, it makes sense not to risk your own life here.
You see Amumu kind of moving down. Draven does have the level advantage over Tristana, so they could be looking to make something happen here.
Yeah, Mumu on a ward though, so it'll be difficult for him to get anything done without at least blue team knowing about it. But are they looking
spotted
for
out by the
five?
Leona here? Looks like he's just gonna be content to drop a ward and walk away. Maokai's in the river, taking that Rift Scuttler. I don't know if Amumu's gonna look to contest it. Syndra does have shove and roam in mid, so it looks like Maokai is going to be getting caught out again here. He might just be dead. I'm not sure if he has any way out. Yeah, the Alistar's going to be there to ensure the kill. So that's Maokai going down again. Draven, in a glimmer of hope for red team or for blue team, does not manage to pick that up with his ultimate. So he's still looking to cash in.
Yeah. Yeah, Draven is a little disappointed, but I think blue team's still happy with that overall, especially because they'll get the Dragon Seer on the other side. Meanwhile, over 20 CS lead generated for the Illaoi in the top lane. So similar to the last game with that Teemo versus KO matchup, seeing a really strong lane advantage. Team Harbinger was able to get the win at the end of the day for Team Demacia. So we'll see if he can have that same performance this game.
Yeah, mid lane seems to be moving mostly even. I think Be the Dub is having an easier laning phase than he did last game, so he's probably feeling at least a little content about that. But his laner picking up a kill there is definitely a little bit rough.
Yeah, yep, and unfortunately the woes we saw from Maokai last game of getting picked out in right before objective is continuing. So we'll have to. Well, I think Team Zon really needs to try to button that down before too many kills go over, and that Draven is able to cash in.
Yeah, and that's the real concern you got to be watching for is you did see them, they were able to recover from the Maokai having kind of a hard early laning phase, and he was able to make a decent amount of difference in the game, but
he's looking for something here, but I don't know if Shen has enough health.
And definitely against ganking Illaoi with ultimate, you got to worry about that, because she can just turn those fights around so quickly.
Risky.
Yeah, Shen's just going to have to flash out. Maokai's stuck there now. I don't know if he's going to... Yeah,
no
Maokai...
Illaoi mana, though.
Okay, Maokai does force the flash from the Illaoi. Looks like he's not going to be able to get the kill, but that is not an insignificant trade over there. Both top laners lost their flash. Maokai did not trade his, so he could look to re-gank that Illaoi.
Yeah, Shen has TP as well. No mana on Illaoi. Illaoi does not have TP, so she's in a weird state where she's going to have to try to crash this wave. She needs to call it for jungle attention quickly in order to stabilize.
Mumu not be able to help out. Looks like he's pathing towards bot. And
Illaoi just taking the back. Gonna lose. We'll see if Shen pushes, but Shen should push here and cause the Illaoi to lose at least a wave of farm.
Yeah, this is definitely an awkward position for the Illaoi to be in. So good job from Team Zon forcing her into it.
Wyvern on Shen not confident in his ability to crash that wave fast enough, so it looks like he's going to instead try to allow the freeze to occur. We'll see if he's strong enough to actually hold Illaoi off the wave when she comes back.
Yeah, this will push into him, and he's managed to deny the cannon, so it's not a total loss, but it definitely not crashing that wave does mean you lose some of the potential punishment that you had there.
Yeah, he just, I mean, he's walking away. He just doesn't think he's strong enough. And based on this trade, I agree to actually zone off the Illaoi. So I actually think wrong choice. But we got a bot lane gank.
Oh yeah, looks like Draven's about to get his cash in. Oh.
Ooh, missed ult. good buster shot from the Tristana to disallow that Amumu to hit any of the teams on targets.
Yeah, Team Zon really played out that that gank pretty well. They didn't give over anything. You did see the Leona have to give up her flash, but honestly, oh, she's actually not running Hex Flash. It's a little bit unfortunate, but still, I think it's a trade that you take. You don't end up giving up a kill. Draven still hasn't succeeded in getting that cash in. And as you start to get later into the game without Draven picking that up, you do get nervous because he doesn't really perform as well as the Tristana or other ADCs in the later game skirmishes and team fights. This is a disadvantage, especially against a heavier CC comp like this, of pretty much always knowing where he's going to be standing, which just isn't what you want when you're an ADC.
Yeah,
Makes it so easy for enemy teams to mark you.
Wow, yeah, we got Hullbreaker first for Alawi. I mean, seems to be pushing that advantage really hard right now. Is unable to secure the kill, but yeah, does have a 30 CS lead and a 1400 gold advantage. But meanwhile, mid lane ganked again. Alistar here. Flash from Sidra.
Looks like a doe.
Tristana-
The Victor's gonna live, and Tristana's actually turning this around. She's gotten a kill on Syndra. She's pushing this Alistar. Alistar's gonna have to flash. So that is a very good answer from the Tristana. She picked up a lot there. Draven is gonna get the crash and maybe get some plates here, but Tristana got a kill and a flash. So she's honestly probably sitting pretty happy with that. She's not gonna get any time on this tower, which is a little bit unfortunate. But plates have fallen, so crashing that wave isn't going to feel as good for Draven because he's not going to be able to pick anything up aside from the crash there.
Yeah, big lead in the top side that continues to become bigger. I mean, the tower going down without Herald means that red team is able to secure this Herald and then either drop it mid or bot or even try to further the advantage of top lane, though I think if anything they wouldn't want to give too much free farm there. There is a trade this time around. We're seeing the Herald for Dragon trade. So we called out last time that we didn't like the lack of trade there.
Yeah, so this time they are able to at least get something back. We see them moving towards bot. I don't really think there's any kill threat because Tristana's not really up far enough to follow up on any engage that Leona and Maokai might aim.
Yeah, and Shen did have to use his ultimate to protect the Victor in that last fight, so there is a window for punishment if they want to look back at the Victor. Now, Victor does have flashback, which makes that gank a little bit more difficult, but does seem like their best target at the moment. Draven still no cash in. Let's see how much what his passive is.
I think he's at like 300 right now.
At 273, yeah.
Yeah, so he could potentially be getting about 700 gold.
Maybe it's right now.
Okay, yeah, Draven gets that cash in. He gets 723 gold.
Yeah.
So that is a big swing towards the Draven. That's got to feel kind of rough. If you're Tristana right now, if you are blue team, you are not feeling particularly happy about that.
Yeah, once again, unfortunately, Maokai a little deep, and Draven able to get the cash, and did have to use Flash, so there's some hope that you can turn that around, but I mean, that doesn't matter when their stacks have been consumed for gold. So, yeah, Tristana having gained that advantage in the mid lane, but he's looking for something here before the Draven has backed and actually able to spend that gold.
Yeah, so this looks like Tristana's going to be able to trade. Leona misses, but I'm not really sure it matters.
No, it doesn't. Solo kill to Tristana. Great play. Unfortunately, may not be enough.
Victor is getting caught out on this side, but he might be able to stall long enough for Tristana and Leona to move up and actually turn this around. Yeah, that's going to be... Mumu flashes out, so he's not going to die here. Oh, nope, that's the dead of Mumu.
Yeah, lots of flashes, but hey, you're getting gold.
So we are seeing Team Zon trading back a little bit more in this early game than they were last game. So whoever highlighted them being more proactive here was on the mark. This comp does give them more power to really answer some of these roams and attempted plays from Team Demacia.
Yeah, and Amateur Noob, their coach, called out that they wanted to be active mid lane. I mean, they weren't able to gain the plates that he had talked about they'd hoped to get, but I mean, 3 kills, you're happy. So overall gold that we're talking about between these bot laners is actually Tristana favored at this point, as you know, after those 2 kills go in favor. Has the first completed has Kraken Slayer though up against the Essence Reaver of Draven. Item wise, looks like they're about similar. It's similar item breakpoints in the bot lane. So we'll see who's able to actually deliver more damage. Maybe when the first team fight comes around in 2 minutes of the dragon.
Yeah, hypothetically, I think Draven's at a stronger point in terms of damage, but it's really going to come down to execution at this point. If he can catch those axes and keep them in play during fights, because otherwise he's not going to be doing as much. And the Tristana, her barrier of execution is a lot lower. She just kind of needs to hit that E and then auto attack somebody, and they will take a lot of damage. So we're going to see which ADC can really execute in these team fights. Victor and Syndra have moved bot, so it looks like the lanes have fully rotated now. Giving Triss some time on that mid lane turret if they can really push their advantage that she has. Could be able to force that down before next objective if she's given the time on it. So we'll see if that's able to happen. Looks like Alawi hasn't really been able to push her lead much farther. Forcing
a major CS advantage, but yeah, the objective advantage has kind of slowed out and stalled, especially with the Tristana moving mid. It'll be more difficult for Alawi to push in, knowing that the roam could come pretty quickly from that strong bot lane.
Yeah, Moon was forced to use the Eye of the Herald, which he hadn't cracked yet, so that's going to be in kind of an awkward position. We do have Drag coming up pretty soon, but that, I don't know if that Herald's going to give them the value that they really want from it.
Alawi looks like might get picked out here. Does have ult.
Yeah, she might be able to turn this. We'll see. Tristana's not in the ult range, but yeah, she's able. Alawi's just safe. She's able to heal through all of it. Might be able to catch up Tristana on the back end. I think.
Maokai's coming to rescue. Meanwhile, fights everywhere. Ooh, actually, Alawi maybe overstayed. Not quite. But...
Nah, she's able to walk out, but Tristana was, I guess, too low HP to feel confident going for that. But honestly, overall, probably Alawi favorite. She gets the tower, and she gets that with her life, so she's probably feeling pretty good about herself there.
Ooh, big ult sent out and mostly whiffed from Draven. He saw something. He knows Draven better than me. I didn't see anything, but he made break points.
Angle is not quite there, but you know, I can appreciate the attempt. Sometimes you just gotta go for what you see. Okay, Alawi is gonna get locked up under tower. She's finally gonna go down. Victor gets the shutdown, so that's a good place for the gold to be going. He's been maintaining a lead over the Syndra, even though he's been having some unfortunate trades with her. Top lane is pushed in pretty far, but we're gonna see if blue team can contest this steal. They
good Maokai ult, low health.
are winning the fight. Amumu is focusing down the dragon, so getting him out of the pit, or at least okay, yeah, they steal the dragon. Good job from blue team. Amumu is just gonna go down here too. I don't know if Leona is going to be able to get the Draven. She's not going to be able to get the Draven, but Draven is forced out of the pit. Syndra's forced out. They're both really low.
Draven's deep here. He's not backing off. He's
going to maybe go for the execute, so Leona gets the kill instead of someone else. But oh no, Victor gets the kill. Wait,
I don't know how. I don't know how that was.
Yeah, I wasn't really watching the Leona chase. Maybe she didn't actually tag him. So yeah, Victor gets the kill. And so he's just getting a big gold influx over the past minute. Tristana maybe gets this tower here. Alex was going for her, but he doesn't really have any kill threat. He's able to force her off the wave, so nope, tower just goes down anyway.
A great play from Teams on their good positioning. They were able to zone out the Draven, so Draven couldn't get any damage off, except onto Leona, who was just
Maokai's getting caught out. We're going to see if he's able to walk his way out. Doesn't look like it is. He's definitely going to go down here. Taking a long time because he isn't Maokai, but yeah, he dies in the end. Still though, I wanted to highlight both games so far. We've seen Team Zon really being able to step it up at the 20-something minute mark and just make these games where it doesn't look like they're actually that ahead. Start swinging them in their favor. Even though the gold is down, they are getting some of these picks and kills that I wouldn't have expected from the earlier game and the way it was going.
Yeah, I agree. And well, let's see what happens. This fight, it looks like Alawi might be too deep again. But it is Alawi.
It's gonna be a big test of whether or not they can CC her and keep her able to really get benefit out of that ult. Looks like, yeah, it looks like it's just gonna not go down. She does force the flash out of Shen, but eventually she's gonna die. Took a lot longer than I expected.
I mean,
And
and they were able to get mid tower off of that. I'm not sure if it was worth it, but at least there's some consolation prize.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna be able to get this bot tower too. Victor is gonna go for the Syndra, but he's by himself, and there's 3 people here. 2 of them are pretty tanky. He does get the kill on Syndra, and actually, Alistar might be under threat now too. Okay, no, Alistar gets to walk it out, but yeah, Victor's gonna be able to defend this tower. I don't think Amumu and Alistar actually have the damage to force it down. Okay, with Draven there, they might. Yeah, Victor's gonna get CC'd under tower, and that's just gonna be it for him.
Oh, Shen's here too. Draven
Shen
has
here too,
tower
though.
aggro.
Draven is going to die to tower. Lyvern gets the shutdown, so that is a welcome influx of gold for the Shen, who is really falling behind in this game.
Yeah, and because of the tower, the kill actually went to Amumu. So no more cash in for Draven. He had just died recently, so there wasn't that many stacks anyway. But I think
He had
we're
about
gonna
no, he had about 100 stacks actually, so he did lose
Oh,
a
okay,
decent chunk of
yeah.
gold there.
be a kill's worth of gold just off that death. It's
And Lyvern
Tristana.
was able to get this tower here. No.
5-0-0. I mean, powerhouse this game. The hope for Team Demacia here is that because all this gold is centralized, mostly on a Tristana, though Victor is relevant, they'll be able to focus her out in these fights. But it's not going to be easy.
They do have a lot of peel to keep her alive, including the Shen, who has been struggling in lane, but he still has his R button, and sometimes that's all you need. He's been really doing pretty well with those, keeping his teammates alive.
Shen hasn't died, but is about to get Flame Horizoned in that top lane. So it's a really interesting game state we're in, where the Shen has gained a lot of value with these ultimates protecting his team, but is ceding a lot of control elsewhere in order to make this happen. Meanwhile,
Tristana has gotten caught, so that's a little bit unfortunate for her. We got the answer on how the buffer works. She is not able to get out, and she just dies to the Syndra. Maybe Victor can turn this. The Maokai is here, the Victor is here. They're focusing down the Alistar, which is a little bit rough, but they do get 2 kills right before Dragon, so maybe they'll be able to do something. Syndra is low. That's a triple kill for Victor. Looks like Amumu is also going to go down. He's taking a lot of damage. He's been CC'd and stunned up. We see the quadra kill. Oh, it's not a quadra kill, so... But we do see the kill going down towards the Victor's damage yet again. And now Alawi has just gone here, but she's stunned up, so she's not really going to get the benefit out of the ult that she wants. And Blue Team just going to walk away, probably pick up this Dragon. So that was an interesting series of events for them. They got 4 kills there. Not really giving that much up. Alawi got some time in the bot lane tower, but she wasn't able to actually force it down, so...
Well, she did get the tier 2, but yeah, the tier 3 stands. And honestly, I thought that was a late TP. I think the play was over by the time she TP'd. If she had TP up earlier, I don't know if she did or didn't. I think that could have been really a great turn for her. But yeah, instead, basically delayed quadra kill over to the Victor. They were not able to turn immediately onto the Dragon, so it looks like we may get another fight right away. Syndra does have TP, so he's going to clear the top side before engaging here. And
Yeah,
we got a 5v5 Ruin.
And a lot of these big ults are actually going to be back up for the Dragon fight. Draven, Syndra, Victor, and Maokai all have their ults back. So actually, this could be another big explosive fight. And I just realized he got a second Hextech Drake again. That's 2 in a row for these games.
Harbinger's surviving. He's not killed. Draven able to do damage on the other side. They get the first
See
kill
the
of the
Alistar
fight.
coming down, but he's actually just getting fucking... he's actually just getting melted down by this Victor, so not a lot of advantage there. Leona gets the ult off, and that's actually going to be not a dead Alawi. My bad. Yeah, Red Team is turning this fight around. They didn't have the damage to fully burn down anyone on Red Team, so actually they're able to turn it around. But Draven's going down slowly. They've got to focus him down. Okay, they eventually got the kill. Syndra's there, but I don't know how much damage he actually has to burn through this Maokai, who's just tanking so much damage. He's going to be able to walk out, so Red Team might be able to pick up the Dragon because they did force Blue Team out, but honestly, that fight wasn't great for them. And if these fights keep going this way, they're going to fall further and further behind. And actually, they're going to back off the Dragon. They're too scared to try and force it down with Blue Team having the health bars they have, so...
Yeah.
We'll see
Also,
if they're...
quickly, I think we're desynced. What time stamp are you at?
Oh.
Never mind. There's now a pause. I'm at I'm on the pause at 29:45.
Oh, then you are. Wait, I'm at 33.
32, 31,
Run.
30. Okay, I think we're aligned now. I don't know. That
Okay,
was interesting.
that was-
There's a fight where it seemed like you were fine. Anyway, we're back.
That's my bad. Sorry, I was a little bit desynced. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really interesting last fight. What I'm seeing happen is basically Draven alive at the beginning of these fights managed to get a few kills, possibly get that damage off. Syndra surviving these fights, but just not able to do enough damage at this point in the game to actually threaten anyone that's not a carry. And so we end up with probably one carry and maybe two others left alive so far on these Team Zon, at the end of these team fights for Team Zon. And low health bars and two people left for Team Demacia. This has happened several times. So we're gonna have to track and see if Team Demacia is able to position better in these fights to keep Draven alive longer to do more damage, because he seems to be their only true damage source. And if Syndra can get maybe a QE or a WE combo with an ult to follow up and kill out one of those squishier targets at the beginning of the fight, that's probably the best way for Team Demacia to win here.
Yeah, and we were highlighting the Tristana's performance before the Syndra managed to lock her down 2 times. She was 5-0, but actually the Victors have been the one doing the just massive amounts of DPS in these fights, and if they're not able to force him down, and he's able to just free fire, he's kind of the one winning these fights for.
Ooh,
Oh, a
Red
move
team
going
decided
in,
to
but
go in, but
Dragon is
he's
down,
just
so he's-
alone.
Yeah, he took a one-way trip into a gray screen there. Did your thing just freeze too?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Yeah, Moo
But
took a
we're about
one-way.
to get a really interesting fight on the other side of this.
Yeah, it looks like they're running down this Alawi. She's in kind of a weird place. Obviously, she's pretty hard to kill, but
Yeah, it does have ult, so it looks like blue team decides not worth it. Too dangerous to step into the Alawi right there, and backs away.
Bot tower
Alawi does
go
not
down
like
there.
these team fights, by the way, because she has Hullbreaker.
Yeah, she's Hullbreaker, so she's not really getting the benefit out of that now that she's being forced into these 5v5s, which I don't think are going to end anytime soon, because I don't know that her team can win without her, especially given how ahead these DPS dealers on Team Zon are.
Yeah, and Team Zon agrees with your assessment, starting the Baron, saying, come on, come at me, bro. I believe I'm so much stronger than you. You can't win.
The exhaust comes out, but it comes out early, so there's not really going to be a lot of benefit to that. They're getting these far wards out, so Amumu can't really do the steals that he managed to get next game. Oh, that was a Leona engage. She is very confident. Going back to what you're talking about, they are feeling themselves, and it looks like they're correct to do so. That is going to be a dead Alistar. Syndra gets the stun on the Tristana, but it's not going to be able to follow up with any damage before she's forced away by these just massive tanks. Alawi is going to get this neck inhib on the other side, but the lead for Team Zon is just getting bigger and bigger, and I'm not too sure how much that's going to end up mattering if they can keep the wave clear up. Yeah, she's going to end up dying for this.
Yeah.
Didn't even really get any benefit out of her ult, so now they have Baron. They're getting these kills. The lead for Team Zon is starting to snowball. They do have to be careful about this bot lane inhib, but if they're able to keep control of these sides a little bit more, maybe use this Baron to get some pressure there, I think this game is really looking good for them.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the hope for Team Demacia is that they're able to leverage that Syndra and Amumu pick potential and Alistar pick potential, get that Victor. They're never getting Tristana, right? They should never get Tristana, but they can get Victor. If they're able to get Victor out of that fight, then hopefully, I don't think they win necessarily from there, but they're able to back off and allow Alawi time to split push. That is how they're gonna win this game from this position. Now, we've seen throws the last game, so this game is not over yet. Obviously, Team Zon is in a favorable position, but they have to execute. They can't. Banyan Canadian on Maokai cannot be getting picked off before objectives. He's done a good job in the last 20 minutes of not doing that, but one time is all it takes to throw this game. Be the dub. Needs to continue to output that damage. Tristana needs to continue to output that damage. The peel needs to be there. There's a lot of things for them to do, but all of these things they've been doing. So can they keep it up?
Yeah, and the other thing is if they can keep this Draven out of these fights, they don't really have the damage to follow up, because even the Tristana's getting to the point where she actually has enough HP that Syndra can't just 100 to 0 her without really committing herself to it. So that puts them in an awkward position if they can't burst down any of these carries. And the Victor has Liandry's, he's building Cosmic Drive, he has the Zonia, so he's going to be hard to burst too. So we talked about getting those picks, but
Yeah,
that's
a
easier
great
said
call
than
out.
done.
Absolutely, and somewhat surprising to see the Syndra going for the stopwatch here. Like, I understand wanting to be safe, but hold on. Malawi looks like might be getting picked off again.
Yeah, she's
How
been trying to
much
split
time
push
can
for
she
the last
buy?
little bit, but just they have enough CC. She's not even really able to get use out of her ult, and they're able to just kill her before Team Demacia can really do much here. I think they might get this mid tower, but
Yeah, the Alawi, I mean, I love the idea for the Alawi of split pushing here, but they really need to execute a little better, right? The Alawi is too far forward compared to where the rest of her team is. The rest of her team needs to be in position to immediately trade an objective and threaten for the next in order to make those split pushes worth it. But in this case, they're only slightly able to get that mid tower because it was already low. So that could have been a really bad trade. In this case, it ends up okay, but that strategy is not going to scale for the rest of the game if the rest of the format of Team Demacia are not able to continually punish those all-ins on the Alawi.
yeah, it also means this dragon's coming up pretty soon, and they are not going to be able to set up around it because they did commit to pushing down that mid lane. So they get a ward in the pit, but if they're not the first ones there, they're going to be in kind of an unfortunate position. But I think you don't want to be face checking into the comp that Team Zon has, and they have that mid lane pushing too. Syndra's going to have to go answer it. Somehow Team Demacia is actually the first to set up in the pit. But
Alawi here, again, has Hullbreaker, so losing some gold value, but, you know, is 3,000 gold ahead of most everyone except the Tristana. So, may still be valuable here, especially in these team fights. Really curious to see how this evolves. Lots of damage from that Victor E.
yeah, Mumu missed his first Q, so he only has one of those left for a little bit. Alistair just getting chunked out before the fight even begins. Breaking through that Amumu bone plating too. Starting up the dragon. Alawi is still threatening, even though she is losing that gold value,
Leona
like
on
you
the
said.
wrong side here.
Or is it the right side? She needs to get that ult pick. They're able to all in. They're going to get 2 kills here. 3 kills going down. Okay, now 2 kills going down. Thought that pick was going to happen faster, but they did get the third eventually. Now Draven is by himself. He's going to get burst down by the Tristana and the rest of the entire enemy team. Tristana's just going to chase down
She's too
Syndra.
far
She's going
forward.
to die, but... So that was a little bit of an unforced error, but it's still a triple kill for Victor and Dragon Soul.
Yeah, we were looking... Avid Zulu was doing great earlier and is still doing well. But we knew we were looking at Be the Dub on Victor for these late game team fights with that power pick in the Victor. And yeah, he's been pulling it through, not only playing well in the team fight, but managing to poke out 3/4 of Alistar's HP before the fight even began. Basically won that fight early, and the inhibitor in Bali is back up, so all that time that Team Demacia had spent trying to gain that advantage is now eroded, and they're back to kind of farming it out and trying to scale back up, get gold onto their carries, and be able to hopefully leverage that gold to get immediate picks in these fights. But yeah, if the execution's not there and they're getting poked out beforehand, I'm not quite sure how they're going to break through the strong team fighting control of Team Zon.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a lot harder now, too, that they have the Dragon Soul, because that does mean that they have that poke is just going to get more oppressive. Leona's getting caught out, but she's so tanky, it doesn't even really matter. She basically just gets to walk out with most of her health bar intact. I don't know if she's going to have to reset before this dragon fight, or before this Baron fight, but Team Demacia is the first one here. We'll see if it matters, if they can get any of that setup. It's so easy with Maokai, though, to like face check into these. You can just use your saplings to check. And
I don't like that they've given. Oh man, yeah, Alistair.
yeah,
He
he
had
just
to
goes,
use ult just to survive, but it might not
Leona
even
will
matter.
come down. I don't know if they can follow up. Alistair's just dead. So that's a pick, and I think they're just going to turn on the Baron now. We see the TP coming from Malawi, but it's a little bit late, and I don't know if she wants to be here.
Yeah, I think the Alawi. I think Well, here, let's see what happens here. I don't think there's a fight for it, but
Draven ult came out, not much there. Amumu is just gonna get caught
Oh.
out. Syndra dies instantly to, I want to say, a victory. I didn't even see what
yeah,
actually
it
killed
was
her.
a victory right over the wall. Yeah, I mean, this might just be the loss. Like, I think Tristana could potentially push for the win here. They don't have a wave, which is maybe the saving grace for Team Demacia, but
Wait,
um,
sworn that Alawi TP'd. Was her TP canceled somehow?
no, she had TP to the bot wave. So that
Oh,
was
that
my
was what
problem with that play. I don't think Alawi should have ever been there. I don't think Team Demacia had any business in that position of, I guess, threatening Baron, but I don't think they ever really had the threat. I think they needed to have Alawi split pushing, to be honest. Sorry,
Yeah,
I don't want to be too judgmental here, but
No,
I
I
just
mean,
think that choice really cost them.
These repeated decisions to go for team fights when you're just this far behind. I mean, later in the game, it is harder to say that gold leads matter, but it is almost a 10k gold lead, and those are still big enough to start to matter even at 37 minutes into the game. So we're gonna start to see if Team Demacia does technically have more map control with more towers and stuff down in their favor, but at this point in the game, towers fall so quickly. We're gonna see if those advantages really continue to matter. And Victor's kind of split pushing now. He is a little bit overextended, but I don't know if anyone on Team Demacia is actually going to be able to kill him without committing just a massive amount of resources.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get a couple more exciting team fights in this game, but I'm not confident that the next team fight just doesn't just decide it. I also don't think Alawi at this point in the game has enough side lane threat, because I don't know if she can 1v1 the Victor or the Shen. I think we can maybe take a look and see if Alawi's already on the side lane trying to push, so we'll get to see, but
She has a pretty far way to go, and like you said, yeah, Shen can actually get back to base, especially with Baron recall, and answer her. And I don't know, he can't really 1v1 her, but he is
Alawi, you need
tanky
to
enough
back.
that he takes a long time to go down, and if Alawi doesn't get back here, this might just be game.
good Amumu ult.
There's just no damage to follow
Yeah,
up. We're
Leona
so
on
far
the other
behind.
side.
Yeah, Alawi's back, but it's a little bit late now because her entire team is dead. So this is going to have to be the base defense to end all base defenses. Syndra goes down, and that's this game.
Yeah, game over. From a nearly hour-long game, this game 38 minutes to victory. We're going to game 3. We promised a couple bangers. This one was a little less exciting, but still got a lot of action, and well, yeah, we'll be excited to see the next one.